You are now entering Film Code.
I seen it. You're fond of me lobster.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Your ass looks like about 150 pounds of chewed bubble gum, Pyle. You know that? Say it, sir! I don't believe you people.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Now answer my What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Film Code. My name is Phoenix Clouden and joined by the two greatest co-hosts in the world. Starting with my man, Zach. How are you, sir?
Doing good, man. Excited to talk about Emmett Till. Speaking of which, Phoenix, just curious, did you know who that was before going into the movie?
Yeah, I may have.
No. I'm asking because Brandon didn't know.
That
and also your wife
me.
didn't.
That doesn't surprise me either. But yes, it was
he
frequent...
is one of the most historical figures.
Yeah.
And prominent in the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
He was in U.S. history class, or at least should be.
He was in mine.
He was in mine as well.
Was not in mine. I was only I wasn't even introduced to the show yet. I'm already talking here. No, man. My U.S. history class, they only told us about Rosa Parks.
Damn.
And MLK.
Wow, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, and also joining us, Brandon. What's up?
What's up, guys? I'm in the process of trying to not let the integrity of our code word segment break here, as Zach and Phoenix are sharing answers over here. But yeah,
well, how is that wrong? I didn't study, so I'm taking a shot in the dark at whatever Phoenix gives me. I don't feel like that's not really cheating.
He's looking at my study notes. That's what
exactly.
Debatable. Yeah, but it is good to be back. It's gonna be good to be back talking more movies. And yeah, how are you doing, Phoenix?
Man, I'm good. So, like Zach said, we are talking about the new movie Till, directed by Chinonye Chukwu, starring Danielle Deadwyler and Whoopi Goldberg. This is based off the historical story of Emmett Till and how his death sparked the civil rights movement of the early 1960s. Yeah. The reason I wanted to see this movie in particular was mainly because of Danielle Deadwyler's performance. That was the buzz that I was hearing for this film. Pretty much was surrounded her and how she portrayed Mamie Till, and so I was very excited to see that. That's what sort of got me in the door. Brandon, what were your expectations going in for this one?
Going into this one, I knew nothing about this film. I didn't want to watch any of the trailers because, I mean, a lot of the movies lately, I'm like, okay, cool, let me go see them without seeing any trailers. Let me know nothing about it. And I think my theatrical experience is better for it because I'm not going in with any expectations. I'm going in just to sit down and enjoy a film. So right off the bat, I was really pleased with this movie. Fantastic acting all around. I think it had a great message, even nowadays. And yeah.
Okay, so I want to challenge you on that just a little bit, right? So like, you're not the only one who's like not to watch trailers, right? Because trailers can spoil the entire movie. They can take away from the experience,
like The Invitation.
Exactly, right? Like, I get all of that, right? But the reason why I would say that I wouldn't do that is because, to me, I feel like that gives you an unfair representation of the movie. Like,
I disagree.
Yeah, and I can see why, but I think the reason I think that is because, like, particularly, I saw a movie recently that I told you guys that I hated, right? But somebody else saw it without having seen the trailers and they liked it. And I was like, I wonder if that's because the trailer sort of put everything that they enjoyed was in the trailer, and because they didn't see that, it wasn't tainted for them. So I'm wondering, like, to me, I feel like it says that I feel like a trailer's marketing is part of that movie, but the movie itself has to have something else in it. So even if you see the trailer, if the movie doesn't have anything else, then that's a failed movie. Like it doesn't necessarily, like, it shouldn't get a pass just because you missed a piece of advertising. Is that fair, or do you disagree?
I still disagree on that because
Okay.
like I'll bring up a perfect example, Parasite. If I had gone to see Parasite watching the trailer, I've been like, oh my god, okay, I know exactly what I'm in for. And I'm glad I didn't. Like I'm glad I was able to give Zach that same experience of going in without knowing anything about the film.
Okay, I think it works for some, and it definitely hurts others. I can agree with that because like I didn't see a trailer for Parasite and it was the best experience ever, so that's probably fair.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as just like even just like regular films that release normally without any like huge hype around it, I'm fine with not seeing trailers still. So, yeah.
May just be me. Okay, Zach, what about you? What was your expectations going in for this one?
I mean, automatically off the bat, I mean, I did see the trailers and I already knew who Emmett Till was, so I knew, like, even without seeing a trailer, I knew what the movie was going to be about. But the acting, I will say, was incredible. Once I did get in, I did thoroughly enjoy the movie. I thought it was really great. I enjoyed a lot of things that they did in that movie. So, yeah.
All right. All right. So, oh, sorry. Uh not non-spoiler, obviously. What were your thoughts overall on the film, Brandon?
Overall, like I just said earlier, I think it had a great message to it. Like even though it happened in real life, the acting was incredible, the story was great, and yeah, just there were a lot of moments where just things happen. I'm like, this piece of garbage person, are you kidding me? I can't believe they did that and got away with whatever. Man, what a piece of crap. And then on the other side, I'm like, why aren't they doing more about this, you know? So
I will say, like, I as familiar as I was with the story of Emmett Till, I really didn't know the outcome. Like that was something that had left my head for whatever reason. So like that, because of that, like it did make like much of the film very compelling, because I was like, oh, I don't really know how this ends. So like but yeah, so that was really cool, just getting to it through the movie, and I was like, oh wow, I really don't remember how this ends. Um and I got other thoughts about that too, but Zach, go ahead.
Yeah, Phoenix, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Yeah, I very much remember this in U.S. history. It was one of my favorite subjects. And I remember this was like a testing answer, right? Like this is something you had to know. But it's been a while. And so, yeah, I also did forget the outcome. And yeah, I think it did make it very compelling towards the end, because that wasn't what I remembered from U.S. history class. So the way it ended just made it like even more, what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of like really setting in like what happened, you know? So I mean, it was great. It was really crazy, everything that family went through. So yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's go ahead and break the seal and talk spoilers for Till. If you've not seen Till, check it out. It is in theaters still, and let us know your thoughts.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler
right. We are officially talking spoilers for Till. Brandon, kick us off. What are your spoiler thoughts?
Yeah, man. Right, like I mentioned, there are a lot of moments where I'm like, "You piece of crap person." Man, like, with the exception of like two people, I'm not bringing up race here, but like they're all, except for like two white people in this movie, they are all POSs, man. especially the woman that Emmett whistled at, man. Like, it's terrible that this happened, but I think it set up the right person in U.S. history.
Right.
I think it set up the right person to kick off the civil rights movement.
Right. And
if
like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's perfect sense. And like, it kind of sucks, right? Like, no one wants to be that person. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to be in that situation. And I think, it's awful. It's an awful moment in history. But yeah, it's also one of those necessary moments. Because we probably wouldn't be where we're at today without it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to say, right, is in seeing the trailers, I was like, you know what I did not expect? Like, the thing that we learned in history was how bad Emmett Till looked after the brutalization.
Yeah, that was
so like one thing I didn't expect in the movie was for them to actually show it, like, at all. I didn't expect that at all. I thought maybe they'd show like old photographs or something like that. To have a body dressed up in the makeup and the prosthetics to make it look like that was a jarring sight. Like, I was like, wow, that was incredible. So yeah,
I thought they were gonna keep the camera as is, like they had the table blocking the other table,
right.
And she's like, lift the sheet, and then she started crying. Like, okay, I have a feeling they're gonna block it because they can't show dead kids on a movie,
right?
And then they pan up and show them, like, holy shit,
God. Yeah, that was wow.
Well, the way that they cut the camera, right, when you finally did see the body, they had it below the ledge where you can't see it, and then slowly raising it up. And the whole time you're thinking, okay, they're just not going to show it. And yeah, that also, you're right, Phoenix. The way they did that made it feel that way, and then it just like completely caught me off guard.
Yeah. Yeah, it caught me off guard. It was unsettling, to say the least. And like, but I thought it was a smart tactic because, like, we weren't alive when this took place, but that feeling that people had when they saw it was real, and they kind of recaptured it. For me at least, was like, if I had seen that, I'd have been like, whoa, like that's a bridge too far. Like, that's insane. So like, I think they did an excellent job of just recapturing that feeling of shock, that feeling of like awfulness that this occurred. So props to the director. I thought that was amazing. And definitely props to the makeup team. Like, that's great job.
I want to touch on Danielle. Is it Deadwyler?
Mm-hmm.
Her performance was awesome.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, it was just smashing.
Yeah. She knocked it out of the park. Yeah, like I said, that was my reason for going to see this was because of her performance. And I'd heard, like, I stay in the loop when it comes to Oscar punditry and people's predicting certain things. So I'm like always paying attention. Her name constantly kept coming up, and I was like, okay, so like I got to see what she does. Whoo, yeah, Danielle Deadwyler, amazing job. Way to come out of like left field and just own it. Right now, she would be one of my top 5 picks for best lead actress. I hands down, I think.
As of right now, from the movies I've seen this year, I would say she's as of right now, I could see her winning potentially.
Ooh.
I could see her getting nominated. I'd have to look back at all the films that I've seen.
Not that many, Brandon.
I've seen quite a bit.
I like messing with you. That's all, man.
I know, but yeah, no, I've seen quite a bit. Not as many as you, but
like I've seen like 110 films.
Yeah, and I've
released
seen
this year, so
I've seen 37.
Wow.
Well,
not many get to touch my top list, so for me to say that, yeah.
I mean, like, I don't want to get off topic here, but I think my main contender for now is Michelle Yeoh from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I see her either winning it or also getting nominated. But back on topic here, yes, she was a fantastic actress in this film, man. I think, like, just talking about her performance, man, like Danielle Deadwyler, could you imagine just like it felt like she was actually witnessing her own son's body when she broke down, man. That was powerful.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I was tearing up. So I was crying, man.
Yeah. It was on the way in to see the movie for me. I met a mother and daughter. Very sweet people. Like very sweet people. They were in from Seattle. And just lovely people. And because I brought my book bag to the theater, and they were like, yeah, you can't bring your book bag in here. And they were nice enough to let me leave my book bag in their car since we were going to see the same movie. And they had, a box of Kleenex with them, like, so they knew what it was. And like we were in the theater, and that particular scene, man, oh man, you like, it's crazy to just meet somebody and have them have that effect on you. But like when that scene happened, like she broke down pretty hard, and it was, it's a lot to take, especially as a parent. You're like, oh man, like what in the world would that life be like? And that's just this is just an awful feeling. But yeah, I thought she
Phoenix, what was it like for you? I mean, you have a daughter, so
yeah. And I mean, like, yeah, like even the lady I was talking about, like that was our conversation when we left the theater, was like, as a parent, that's something you constantly think about, is something like that happening to your child. It's the worst thing in the world. Like, no, and I was shocked also to find that Mamie lived to 2003. And I was like, like this happened in like 1958, 59 or something like that.
55.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, I can't imagine living with that trauma for so long. Like, like amazing woman. And I think she lived an incredible life. And yeah, that was just one of those scenes. And I can't stress enough, I think Danielle Deadwyler absolutely nailed this performance.
I do want to say, I think Jalyn Hall was the right cast for Emmett Till.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
We've had some really rough child actors this year, so it was nice to finally get someone who was solid. Like, oh man, I appreciated that so much.
Like he really captured the innocence of like who Emmett Till was. He's just a happy-go-lucky kid, and I think he really captured that well.
Could you imagine if they gave us Moonfall Kid? That would have been terrible.
Or Black Adam Kid. Oh Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Oh. But anyway,
I'd like to touch on Carolyn Bryant Dunham for a second.
Nice.
I hate that woman. Like, are you kidding me? Like, man.
But shout out to Haley Bennett. She played it. She played it. Like,
she played the character I hated, and she did well at making me hate her.
Yeah, like that's a rough role to play. Like that is a rough role to play. So,
I mean, imagine going to your family and be like, "Yeah, I got cast in Emmett Till. Oh, what role? Caroline Bryant."
And her just jaw drops.
Just like,
I mean, I can't even imagine, especially the scene in the courthouse at the end where she's accusing Emmett Till of raping her. Like, I can't imagine. That has to be so much to act out and knowing the significance of it. Like, I can't imagine how hard that is to actually do. You know what I mean?
What one thing that upset me that they left out of the movie is that on her deathbed she admitted that she lied. Like that they
I did think I remember that. Yeah. Like from history class. Yeah.
And she got paid $4,000 for it.
Her husband and the other killer. They got paid $4,000 for their interview, in which they admitted that they did kill Emmett Till. Which I was like, well, if they admitted it, how come they weren't, tried?
Double jeopardy.
But double jeopardy, exactly. I was like, that's trash. Like that's trash. And the fact that they lived, I was like, what? Like what? You admitted that and you get to live? Like, I feel like somebody should.
I would have brought the pitchfork.
Yeah, like I'm sorry. That's ridiculous.
It was unfortunately a very dark time in our country. So, rising up against something like that was never easy at that time. So,
I saw, I'm looking at a comparison picture to what the lady actually looked like. She is an old bag in her older years.
Well, yeah, she lived to be almost 80, maybe 90 years old. Yeah.
And this lady's an old bag. Like, she just screams like racism.
Like, you talking about Carolyn Bryant?
She looks just like a vile old woman.
I mean, lying for years can turn your soul to ash. So,
yep. I want to know, I know we're diving into, I guess, court politics now. I want to know when you were when testimonials on swearing on a Bible, when was that put in place? Because clearly she did not swear in a Bible here.
Well, I mean, I think it wouldn't have mattered. Like, it truly wouldn't have mattered. This is a Mississippi court in 1955. Like, at best, you know what I'm saying? It was, if they even brung it in the building, like, you know what I'm saying? It legit wouldn't have mattered. Like, the scene where we see the all-white male jury come in, I was like,
yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, it's over.
I was like, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe there's some hope. Like, because again, I just did not remember how this ended. So I was like, come on. They, like, they're gonna be affected. They got to, like, and the scene in particular when Danielle Deadwyler testifies. Come on, man. I was like that right there. I was like, that should have won everybody over. So I was like, again, I just had so much like hope that this was gonna turn around or work out in some way. So
yeah. I could never play Brendan Patrick Connor's part, the sheriff.
The sheriff. Oh yeah, somebody has to play those parts, man. Somebody has to be that evil person.
And I'm looking at his filmography. He's only been in 5 things.
Wow.
And his most recent other film being Joker.
That actually
previously
makes sense.
Previously in Spider-Man 2. So I mean, yeah, there's not like, for him, it's a role, it's
right,
work.
Well,
I could never do that. No way.
And,
I could never play that role.
I want to apologize. I think I said the wrong name earlier. Yeah, I said Derek Luke. I meant Sean Patrick Thomas. So that's my bad. Who plays Gene Mobley? That's Mamie's husband. Also want to send a shout out to Jamie Lawson, killing it. This is her 3rd film, I think, this year. She was in The Batman, she was in The Woman King, and now she's in Till. So Jamie Lawson been working. So shout out to her. Great work. I do want to talk about a few things that I had issue with, and I think it goes back to our discussion about the trailer. Uh, I think you guys are right in saying that trailers give too much away, but I also feel like the reason that that's the case is because your movie doesn't have much else to offer. I think that usually is the case when a trailer gives too much away. It's probably because the movie doesn't have much else after that.
For me, it's not it giving it away. I just like, even with, like, let's just say Wakanda Forever. I saw the first trailer; it was fantastic. Right. I don't want to watch the second one. Every time the second one comes on in the theater, I dip out of there. I don't want to see any. I don't want to see
clips. Nothing.
It's the same way with Glass Onion. I am so freaking excited for that movie. I do not want to see the second trailer. Knives Out, I avoided every and all possible footage for that movie, like everything. And I went in and I was really satisfied. So, I mean, that's what I do nowadays with just a lot of films.
But see, like, and this is what I say, like, this is where I disagree, because you can have a trailer that is great and that does have some key points, but it doesn't give anything away. And like, and the movie has way more than what the trailer shows. Like, the trailer only shows like 10% of what the movie is. The reason why trailers tend to give stuff away is because 10% is 90% of that movie. You know what I'm saying?
Because they need the proper footage to win you over.
Exactly. So like, they'll string together some of the strongest moments, but you realize that those are the moments of the film. And that's why I say, like, that chances are is that the reason that the trailer gives so much away is because the movie doesn't have much else behind it. So like, to me, and that was sort of the feeling I had on this one, is like, a lot of the affecting scenes were in the trailer, and like, there wasn't any other meat underneath that. There were some other moments that weren't in the trailer that surprised me. So like, thankfully that was there, and that definitely improved my viewing experience. But like, I think of like the last line in the trailer where she says, so anything that happens to any of us anywhere is the business of us everywhere. I was like, that's a great line. And like, I wish it was surrounded by other great lines, but it wasn't. Like, that was it. And I was just,
sorry, I wasn't in the business. It better be the business
of us all. Yeah. So like that, you know what I'm saying? And that's a true line. I know Mamie said that. It's just, I was like, I wish we had more of that. So like, maybe they just didn't have the full speech or whatever. But I thought that was just a little strange. But luckily, like I said, there are other moments that I did not know about that weren't in the trailer. So it was like, it kind of balanced itself out.
Well, there's a lot of like you said, there's a lot of substance there too. Like, it wasn't, like, there was a lot to chew on in the entire movie.
Yeah. Along with the great performances, I do want to also shout out the director, Chinonye Chukwu. Seeing another one of her films, I think she did Clemency with Alfred Woodard, 2019, I believe. Like, that was one of my favorite movies of that year. Like, so she's a solid director, really solid. Yeah, she did do Clemency. So like, this is, I believe, only her second feature film. So she's only gonna get better. I can't wait to see what else she does. But as far as her first two films, I think she nailed it. And it helps that she had Alfred Woodard for one and Danielle Deadwyler for the other. So great way to go. Any other issues that you guys had with the film?
So, I want to say some of the set design was a little, like in the beginning with the train, like it just looked very heavy green screen.
Yeah.
that was like, I was like, ooh, that looks a little rough.
Yeah.
The guy on the dock with her, who worked for the train company, disappeared and reappeared so many times.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, that's another thing. Like, the editing I thought was okay. Like, it wasn't mind blowing. I didn't see like, You know what I'm saying? It didn't seem effortless. It was okay. It was like, you know, if you just graduated college with this area of expertise, you could have knocked this out. You know what I'm saying? So like, to me, it was solid, but it wasn't like outstanding.
Yeah.
And like you said, there were some issues with how that was done, and I agree. Like the background in that scene was very noticeably sketchy.
I guess another thing, just like again back to that train scene. I mean, yeah, they're doing it for the sake of the story. There's no way they were the last two people before the train took off.
I mean, could be.
I feel like I feel like every film that has a main character just does that.
Yeah, it's just like you're the main character, so that's how it's gonna go. We're gonna look at you last.
Same thing happened with Harry and Hagrid
Right.
at the end of the first Harry Potter film. So I got nothing else.
Yeah, I mean that's really just like a nitpick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, those few things really are like a nitpick because, like I said, the camera work was fantastic. I thought the makeup was like I went from being like I don't see this in any other category besides Danielle Deadwyler to be like, no, makeup and hairstyling is gonna get a shout out just for what they did with the Emmett Till design. So
yeah,
solid work all around. Congratulations to everybody in the film. I know it must not have been an easy film to make. Yeah, and thank you for educating us, because even I, who spent countless years learning about this subject, completely forgot about how it ended. So
I did not realize that there was no law signed into place until like this year.
Yeah, that's
I did not know that.
Like I know that there was a anti-lynching act set in like the early like 1940s, I want to say, but like I don't know how wide reaching that was, and I don't know the differences in legislation between this one and the most recent one that was passed, but like yeah, like that caught me way off guard to see that like 2020 it literally passed like this
year. Yeah,
like that's disturbing. That's kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
So all right, so Brandon, final thoughts and score for Till.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I think the acting was great. I think it had a great story to tell. I mean, yeah, it was based off true story. I think I'd also like to say thank you for educating us on this. I think I'm gonna have to go 4 stars. I think that's a solid 4-star film, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the acting was great. I love the movie. Thought it was really well done. A couple of nitpicks here and there. You can't really change the story because it is like historical. So, you know, they did what they could with it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars as well.
Solid. I'm gonna ride that 4 star as well. I think it was just a solid film. It's a tough film. It's a deeply affecting one, but again, Danielle Deadwyler's performance, I think, really sells it and is the ultimate calling card of the film. I highly recommend checking it out, if not for anything, just for a history lesson. And let us know what you guys think at Film Code Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And that is it for us. 4 stars all around for Till. And we are now going to move on to what's good. What's good? What's good? What's good? All right, Zach, what has been good for you this week, sir?
So I do have to say, since we've last talked, I got to see the movie I very much wanted to see, and I was not disappointed. That being said, my what's good is going to go to Triangle of Sadness.
Nice.
That was phenomenal. If you haven't seen that this year, I don't know what you're doing. I thought that definitely deserved the Palme d'Or. There was a lot of very underlying meaning in a lot of the movie. It was phenomenal. I don't regret seeing it. I actually would love to see it again. So, like, yeah, it was great.
For what's good for me is a couple weeks ago I said I watched Terrifier, and this week I got to watch Terrifier 2.
Ah, yay!
The first Terrifier was great. This one was a huge step up.
Wow.
Like, oh my god, this was awesome, man. I never thought I would see a movie with such gruesome kills. Like, there's gonna be so many moments where you're like, okay, he's got to be done with this person, and then he comes back like 30 seconds later and just keeps going. I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, Terrifier 2 is my what's good for this week. Please check it out.
Wow.
It is so good.
Okay. I gotta go out to see that. I actually gotta go out and see both of those because
It's on the Plex.
Yeah. Oh, well, never mind. Watch it right at home. All right.
Not Triangle of Sadness, but
not Triangle of Sadness, but Terrifier.
Yeah.
Both of them are in the Plex.
Triangle of Sadness, I could probably see this weekend, actually.
Please see it.
So for me, ooh, dear, what is good for me? This week I actually got around to knocking off something off of my watch list for the first time ever, and I finally got to see Scarface, gentlemen.
Wait, you've never seen?
Yeah. I got to see Scarface, and I finally knocked that one off of my list. Classic gangster mob movie. Al Pacino, I mean, come on, at one of the heights of his powers. So I don't know how many people haven't seen Scarface. Apparently, I'm like,
I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah. So like it's worth checking out just to experience like that legacy and what that movie means. Very unique, very different from what I thought it would be also. So yeah, shock of all shocks, I finally got around to seeing Scarface. So that's Scarface, Terrifier 2, and Triangle of Sadness. Can't go wrong with any of those. Let us know what you guys think of those movies. And that has been what's good from us here at Film Code. And now it is that time. You are now entering Film Code. Start program.
Run, Forrest, run!
Brandon, it was your code word this week.
Yes, sir.
Remind everyone what your code word was and all of your clues, please.
My code word was Ghost. The release date is between 1990 to 2000. The director only did one film, and it was this one. Lead actress is an Oscar nominee within the last 5 years. There's a remake of this film coming out soon with no announced release date. And an extra hint is Zach and I have visited where this film takes place. So, in film code fashion, Mr. Sneath.
Well,
you're up first.
Yeah. So my guess is going to be The Astronaut's Wife. It was in '99. The lead actress is Charlize Theron, and it's directed by Ran Ravitch.
Okay, but where did we visit?
I saw that clue, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The only thing that came to mind was Baby Driver, and that's all I could think about because that's the only one I remember.
Well, Baby Driver is not in the 90s, though.
You're gonna have to tell me after this because I, honest to God, do not remember anything besides Baby Driver where we saw, which we drove by.
Gotcha. Phoenix?
Okie doke. So I went searching for a great deal to find the clues for this one. I settled on this one, and it's funny because you said the lead actress was nominated in the past 5 years. what's funny is I found actually 3 actresses in the past 5 years who were actually in this movie. But I'm going with a movie from 1999 called Drop Dead Gorgeous, directed by Michael Patrick Jan. It's a comedy about this small Minnesota town where there's a beauty pageant and a bunch of people, I guess, are fighting for it, and some people end up dead. But Kirsten Dunst is one of the actresses who was nominated the past 5 years. She's the lead. It also has Allison Janney in it, and it also has Amy Adams in it. So 3 different actresses who were nominated the past 5 years. But that's my guess is Drop Dead Gorgeous.
You were right on the actress. It is Kirsten Dunst. However, the film you were looking for is 1997's Tower of Terror.
Brandon, oh my God, really?
You and I have been to this place, Zach.
Oh man,
really?
You and I have literally been to this place.
At Disney World.
It was filmed there. It was literally filmed there.
I remember that movie too.
All the exterior
you didn't tell me.
What do you mean I didn't tell you?
You didn't tell me that was a set location.
That's why you gotta do your research.
This is bullshit. The only place I can fucking remember is Baby Driver from friggin' Atlanta. Excuse my language.
But yeah, okay. So your director is DJ McCall. And
I'm pissed.
And he only did this film. Lead actress, Kirsten Dunst. There's a remake of this film directed by Taika Waititi coming out.
Nice.
It's announced for next year, but I don't think it's going to release next year. There's no official release date for it just yet. And yeah, Zach and I have visited this place before. So
not bad.
Bullshit.
Congratulations, Brandon. You earned yourself another 2 points.
I was literally scratching my head the entire time, like, where the hell have I gone with Brandon? I was like, we've been to Disney, and we went out to Atlanta one time with Phoenix. Like, that's the most adventurous I've been with Brandon.
You should have just searched.
Most of the time, it's right by work at a lunch spot.
You should have just.
We go to Otter's Chicken. I hope you have one near you.
Man, you should have
out to Otters.
You should have literally just searched movies filmed in Disney, and you would have been bam.
Right there. That's awesome. I actually love this movie, by the way. Like Tower of Terror, I actually think it's really great.
You've seen it?
Yeah. I saw it when it came out. Like I freaking love this movie. I totally forgot Kirsten Dunst is in it. Yeah, that's amazing. All right. It's cool. It only has a 2.9 on Letterboxd. That's trash. That movie's
There's
awesome.
not that many people that have seen it.
Right.
Have any of you guys seen The Labyrinth with David Bowie?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. No.
I've heard of it, and I can picture like the costume he wears.
The Goblin King.
Mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
my mom used to play that all the time, and I love that movie. And I don't know if I would now. So we'll see.
All right. So there you have it. Tower of Terror was the code word this week. Love it. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend checking it out. It's a fun Disney movie. I had a blast with it. I guess it's an even better ride if you've gone to Disney World. But check it out. All right, Brandon, you now lead our leaderboard. I think that puts you at 12 points.
What do you mean I now lead the leaderboard?
I'm sorry. You've been leading. Yes, of course. You're at 12. I think I'm at 9. I think our guest list is up to 7. And Zach, I think, is sitting firmly at 4 or 5. I have to double check. But yeah, moving on up. It's a tight race at the top. Brandon with the steal on that one. That was good. All right. So we're going to get up out of here, guys. Zach, let everybody know where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Zach Sneath. That is ZACHSNEATH. And you can find me on Letterboxd at ZSneaks.
All right. And Brandon, where can everybody find you, sir?
You guys can find me at FANTASMIC ears over on Letterboxd. Go check out what I'm watching. Thank you guys again for listening to this podcast. And yeah, I will be the reigning defending code breaking champion at the end of the season. So
you guys can also catch us at Otter's Chicken. We're there pretty often.
You guys can find me on Twitter at IMHOReviews1, that's the number 1, and on Letterboxd under PA Clouded. And as always, guys, please follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at FilmCodePod. And we will see you guys next week. We are out of here. Peace.